Samantha had always been a self-assured and confident young woman, but that all changed one chilling evening. She had just moved into a cozy apartment in a quiet neighborhood, excited about her fresh start. The apartment was on the top floor, boasting a beautiful view of the city below, and it seemed like the perfect place to begin a new chapter of her life. However, in the weeks following her move, Samantha began to notice strange occurrences that left her feeling increasingly uneasy. Late at night, she would hear faint tapping on her windows, a soft but persistent sound that always sent shivers down her spine. At first, she dismissed it as mere coincidence, blaming it on the wind or some nearby tree branches. But the tapping continued, growing more insistent with each passing night. Samantha's curiosity soon transformed into a gnawing fear that was difficult to ignore. She decided to consult her neighbor, Mr. Anderson, who lived across the hall. A kindly man in his 60s, he had lived in the building for years and was familiar with its quirks. Mr. Anderson listened to Samantha's concerns, his brows furrowing with concern. "Tapping on the windows, you say? That's strange, dear. Our building is pretty secure and it's quiet here at night." Samantha nodded, her anxiety palpable. "I know. It's just, I can't shake the feeling that someone's watching me. It's making me really uncomfortable." The old man offered a reassuring smile. "Don't worry too much, Samantha. Maybe it's just your imagination playing tricks on you. But if it continues, perhaps you should inform the building manager or the police." Despite Mr. Anderson's comforting words, Samantha's anxiety only grew. She found it difficult to sleep at night, convinced that someone was lurking outside her apartment. To alleviate her fears, she installed thick curtains and double-checked the locks on her windows and doors. One night, as she lay in bed, she heard the tapping again. The sound was no longer faint. It was louder, as if someone were deliberately tapping on her window pane with a nail. Samantha's heart pounded in her chest, and she summoned every ounce of courage to approach the window. She yanked the curtains aside and gasped. A figure stood on the fire escape just outside her window, their face obscured by a dark hood. Samantha's pulse raced and she stumbled back, fumbling for her phone to dial 911. As she spoke to the operator, she heard the intruder whispering in a hushed, eerie tone, almost like a chant. It sent a chill through her spine. "Stay inside, ma'am. We'll send an officer right away," the operator reassured her. Samantha watched the figure, paralyzed with fear, as they continued their chilling chant. It was then that she noticed something even more unsettling. The stalker's face was a featureless, blank void, devoid of any discernible features. As the sirens of the approaching police cars grew louder, the stalker suddenly stopped chanting and turned to look directly at Samantha. A cold, piercing dread washed over her as their featureless face seemed to fixate on her with an otherworldly intensity. The police arrived moments later, and as they burst onto the fire escape, they found no trace of the stalker. Samantha's window was open, and there was no sign of forced entry. The officers assured her that they would patrol the area and advised her to stay vigilant. Samantha was left shaken and terrified, unable to explain the unnatural appearance of her stalker or how they had managed to disappear so quickly. Over the next few days, she kept her curtains drawn and lived in constant fear. But it was a week later, as Samantha was about to leave her apartment, that she made a chilling discovery. Scrawled on her front door, in a crimson substance that looked suspiciously like blood, were the words, "I'm always watching." Samantha's nightmare had only just begun, and she realized that her stalker was relentless, inhuman, and that her life would never be the same again. The ominous presence, the faceless figure, had left a sinister mark on her life, a haunting reminder that some terrors were beyond the understanding of the ordinary world.